This is Worldwide Flava Network. This is Worldwide Flava Network. Coast to coast and worldwide.
The views, information, or opinions expressed on the broadcast of Worldwide Flava Network are solely those of the individuals involved and does not represent those of Worldwide Flava Network and Live365.com. Worldwide Flava Network is not responsible and does not verify for accuracy of the information contained on any live or recorded broadcast available for listening on the site.
Hey, you guys, this is Anika from Anika Tells All.
Tune in every Thursday from 10 p.m. to 11 p.m.
Worldwide Flava Network. See you then.
Tune in Tuesdays from 7 to 8 p.m. for the Positional Sports Talk Show on the Worldwide Flava Network with Big Reg
and J3.
This show is being sponsored by Worldwide Flava Network. If you are looking to have your own radio show, come and join us here on WWFN Online Radio. Contact us via our website, www.worldwideflavanetwork.com.
Production.
Ooh, the things you do to me, the thought of you, it makes me weak. Electric kisses on my lips, your love and I just can't resist. Baby, do what you want. You got me, baby. Do what you do. Yeah, you drive me crazy. I'm so into you. Got me addicted. Girl, you're everything I've been missing. Yeah. Love you, kiss you, hold you tight. Making love all through the night. Ooh, your kiss is my delight. Baby, baby, you got me wanting more. Oh, girl, if you could see the things that's in my mind. Visions of me and you roll around all the time. Oh, girl, you been catching me. And girl, I don't wanna be free. Your love's so good to me, baby. Do what you want. You got me, baby. Do what you do. Yeah, you drive me crazy. Crazy, baby. Don't let me go. Girl, I'm so addicted. Your love's what I've been missing, baby. Love me, kiss you, hold you tight. Making love all through the night. Ooh, your kiss is my delight. Baby, baby, you got me wanting more. Got me wanting more.
She want more when I'm putting in OT and going deep like 40 feet and we gon' see. If she could take it, her eyes crossing and legs shaking, she see the stick and get the point, that's an exclamation. The best sensation when we freaking and we both mad, cause we maximize the sex drive till we both crash. See, I couldn't wait to bump her, now she want Jay in her face like the made a jumper. I knew it was a long shot, like shooting from half court, gave her this long, now she crying for back support. She do me and then I do her like she passed the torch. I told her this was just a trial like we back in court. I got my second winning, we going in extra innings. And now she about to get this work like a second pension. I told her it was all love like a set of tennis. Then I put my foot long in her box like a set of tennis.
It's those little things you do. Got me running back to you. Got me all beside myself. I don't want nobody else. I won't ever leave your side. Cross my heart and hope to die. Love you to infinity. Baby, don't you ever leave.
Good evening, good evening, good evening. It's your girl A. Michelle here on the Hot Topics Live here in the studios of the Worldwide Flavor Network. And I want to say hello to everyone. I hope you had a wonderful day today and have been enjoying this beautiful weather we have been having here in Baltimore. It's not been too hot, it's been just right, not been too sweaty or anything like that. So I hope you've been enjoying this beautiful weather that we have been so graciously been able to enjoy right now. And we can definitely tell it's fall coming.
Yes.
And we can definitely tell. I am so excited to have in the studios with me as my guest co-host tonight, my girl, Singleton Newman in the house. Woo! I am just so happy that she could be here and it wasn't didn't find that Robert did come in her schedule, put it in her schedule to come and hang out with me for tonight. And as we are still waiting for our guest to arrive, Mr. Kojo, he's artist Kojo. He is just phenomenal in what he does, and so we're looking forward to him coming and hanging out with us. But we want to do some little fun stuff, hanging out, talking about the things that that's out here in our world that we have to deal with every day. And so again, we are going to have some conversation about a couple things that's going on in our entertainment world and all that good stuff. And we want to say happy birthday to Michael Jackson first.
Yes.
Happy birthday to him. I tell you, that time comes around so fast.
Right.
It's like, man,
Yeah.
And you just think
When
how
he
long
passed
they've been
away
gone.
when he passed away and his
Yeah,
birthday.
it's like they all too close together for me.
Yeah.
Like, it's like when they just announced that he had passed, and then next thing you know, you're dealing with the birthday, and you're like,
You know how old he would have been?
he would have been what?
61,
right?
61 years
Okay.
old.
I was about to say it had to be like 60 something. I knew it was like 61. Yeah, 61.
61 years
Yes,
old.
he would have been 61. Wow.
Wow.
Man. And 61 is so young.
Yeah.
Now
then-
61 is young.
Yeah. So I think when I think about him at this age, is him passing away, and then this age, is like, I can't help but to think about Prince too. Which
Right.
stings
Oh my
even
gosh.
worse. It's
Oh my
like,
gosh.
wow.
My cousin is I thought I was a Prince fan. I think she got me beat.
Yeah.
My one cousin. And I guess because we had the same birthday.
Yeah.
So Donica, that's why. I think because we had the same birthday, we were just such Prince fans. And sometimes she will be posting stuff and she puts me in a mode of like almost mourning again. Cause like, she'll post something and then like she'll do these little collages of him. And then it make me think, like I remember certain pictures, those things that really anything with Purple Rain really gets me.
Yeah.
But she will post stuff and I'll be like, where did she get that from?
Because she's a super fan.
She like real super fan
Yeah.
even still. And to be as old as we are, she's still a real super fan. And I loved Prince so much. Like literally Singleton. I had his poster on my wall. So when I laid down, I just looked right up at him at night. Every night I looked up at Prince. I mean, it was
the
just
way
like
you
that.
love Prince, I loved MJ. Like
Okay.
I was like,
so you and my cousin, my other cousin, were MJ fans.
I'm an MJ fan for sure. So
Okay.
it's like, I heard, do you remember the time yesterday? And I was bopping to it like it was something current in the club. Like he just had all of his music was just timeless. And not to harp on anything negative on his birthday. It's just that unfortunately it's like so much of what has happened is about him in the last few years has just been just negative connotation, and he's not even here to defend himself. I mean, his children really can't say much because they weren't of age when all of this stuff was supposedly happening.
And I don't understand why when you die, all of it can just die. Like, why we gotta continue to go on and on?
Because as long as you have money and your estate has money, somebody will always try to come for you. If Michael Jackson was dead broke, like broke as a joke, we wouldn't hear nothing. But because there is still money being made from him, even when he's dead and gone, there were still people coming from him. I mean, earlier this year, of course, everybody knows not surviving R. Kelly, just the Neverland documentary.
Right.
They're still trying to get money from that. Sorry to say, I don't think it's gonna happen. Let that.
But for what? Like, honestly, you get your children some help, get your family members some help. Don't get me wrong, and I am not being insensitive, but I just feel like at this point, he is gone. So let it all die.
I mean, I don't know.
You can if you need
the estate.
Well,
all they're doing is trashing his name. I mean, at this point, it's kind of stupid. But that's not to say that survivors can't speak their piece.
Absolutely, and get help.
But
get
they,
help.
But they got paid for that documentary. They got paid to be with on stage with Oprah and talk about their story. So I think if they're looking for compensation, that's enough. The damage is done.
Okay, so you're saying their compensation was what they received already.
Yeah. I mean, Michael can't come back and pay him more.
Absolutely.
And
he can't make no more music.
And he can't make no more. I mean, he's getting paid off the music that he's already made. And you know, I guess don't even talk to his kids. His kids ain't got nothing.
Right.
Okay. Because Paris, I don't know if you seen her. She look like she fight somebody.
she don't look like no joke, right?
She don't have no cut card. She look like she from the crazy side
like
of the family.
She's seriously gonna cut you down.
No doubt.
That's
not the
sure.
boys, but his daughter sure enough look like she cut you.
You're right. That's what I'm saying. They seem like they real timid and passive, but she look like she ain't playing.
I always say this about Paris Jackson. She looked like she got the aggression that her father didn't have.
Okay.
She got her granddad's aggression. Right. She got that Joe Jackson spirit. Amen. Hey. Good to see you. Yes. So he got, Paris Jackson got that Joe Jackson aggression. She got all that fire. She got her she got the aggression that her dad didn't have.
right. That he needed to have had, but unfortunately did not have. It happens. And so our guest has arrived, and so we're going what about the Power? What you think about that?
Oh my gosh. So of course, Stars premiered the 6th season of Power. And if many of you haven't found out already, there's been a little change. And that is the entire theme song. Now,
but I think he's gonna change it. I heard he's changing it back.
So here's the deal with this. So everybody knows that the song "Big Rich Town," which was sung originally by R&B singer Joe Thomas. Hey, I love him. Classic. He did the song, and that's been like the smoothest TV show theme song for the past 5 seasons. Well, apparently the word on the street is 50 Cent called up his friend Trey Songz and said, hey, listen, I want a new vibe to this song. Trey Songz actually told him, I don't want to change it. You shouldn't change it. But he said, no, come on. I just do me this favor. I want to change it. So he was like, all right, fine. So he called up Trey Songz, called up A Boogie with the Hoodie, and who's a rapper from New York. And they went into the studio and remixed the song. It premiered this past Sunday on Stars, and everybody hates it.
Right. Like literally.
And 50,
I had to turn, how you knew the song was on.
But you turned your face up, right?
I turned back and looked at the TV again because I kind of looked at the phone, when it was coming on. So I looked down and I was like, wait a minute.
So
like that.
The backlash from him doing this new remix was so bad. 50 Cent had to get on Instagram and say, God, okay, fine. And say, well, I wanted something new. So he's been pedaling back and forth with actually changing the song back. And he had the nerve to say, well, y'all didn't buy any Joe Thomas CDs. Don't matter. What? And then a shout out to Joe. Joe posted on his Instagram, that he mattered. So everybody's hashtag Joe matters. So
I mean, but my thing was, I think people kind of just got the tune in their head the way that it was.
It feels good. It feels good where it is. I can understand 50 wanting a new energy, a new vibe, but I didn't really. This is going to be the last season.
I thought he said he was going to. I thought he's changed his mind, and now he wants to.
I think. Well,
extend.
He may extend, but also he was going to do a spinoff.
Right.
So I would have rather he saved Trey and A Boogie with the Hoodie for maybe the spinoff show. But apparently. So I think where he's gonna keep this new remix on for this last season, and then we'll find out who's gonna die next. If you haven't seen it, this is not a spoiler alert, so I won't give out any details to go watch it. If you have,
they shouldn't have watched it since Sunday now.
Yeah, well, it's on your Stars app, Hulu, or any of your streaming platforms.
They should have watched it by now.
Check it out
because it was. Now, honestly, I thought it was gonna be a little more edgy. What y'all think? I thought it was good.
It's just getting started. So I don't
know. And I think that's all they wanted to do was just give you a little teardrop.
Yeah,
I just thought it was gonna be a little bit more
No,
edgy Sunday.
they're gonna ramp up. It's a ramp up. Something's gonna happen. So we have a couple.
It's a whole lot of things that's gonna happen. I
Yeah.
already know that, but I just, you know how some things got to come in like with a bang, and that's what I thought because there was so much hype all summer.
Well, we all know this, and I'll say this: Dre gotta go. So that'll be done. I feel they'll close him out nicely.
You think they're gonna close Dre out?
Yeah, everybody wants him to go.
I know they want him to go, but do you think they're gonna let him go?
I don't know because we don't know.
And do you think that 50 Cent is really dead?
Ooh, that's another good one.
I keep trying to tell everybody. Everybody
I don't
keeps telling me.
know.
Everybody keeps telling me.
Let's not give it away. We're giving away spoilers.
Angie, he is gone. I'm like, no, y'all better
You think it was
twice.
to take me out? I don't know. We don't know
I
how this
believe
will
it
all
was
turn out.
Girl, I think he's gonna do it again, like he did the first time.
Well,
first fake out.
Yeah, he faked to death one
But-
time.
right?
I think he could possibly try to do it again. We don't know.
Yeah.
So, did you hear? Of course, this weekend. Of course, in addition to Power, was the VMAs, Video Music Awards from TV.
Mm-hmm.
First of all hail Missy Elliott.
Absolutely, Missy in the house.
Missy Elliott did a grand Video Vanguard Award show right on the VMA stage. It was amazing per usual. She brought out all of her tricks and tips and all that, and she really showed you how to perform. She is just a master at what she does.
Absolutely.
So she had a big performance with all of the costuming and MTV's late. I'll say that.
Right.
It was. I'm glad they did it, but I think I don't know if the timing was right now, but I really felt like just a few years ago she should have got it. But
sometimes they just have to.
Right.
They drag their feet and then they want to, put people in some places sometimes. So I feel like she should have been had it a long time ago as well. But timing is everything. And that's what I always believe, regardless of what we may think or feel. I just believe timing is everything, because when you look at how her life is now, and even with all the challenges she's been through, I mean, health wise, and then see still how God has blessed her.
Yeah.
And look at where she is, all the music she's written for people, and now, look at God blessed her with even getting her doctorate degree.
I know.
And like that just, was
She's
just amazing.
Right.
Doctor.
Miss
Right.
Elliott.
Yes. I was like, yes, when you said, and I don't care what nobody said, whether it's honorary or earned, it still was earned. And when it's honorary,
right?
Because you worked hard. She worked hard to get
hard
where she is. So regardless that she did not go in the classroom and do the work,
no,
she worked hard doing the career.
It was
the
application of what they teach in the classroom that she mastered.
Absolutely.
And so her doctorate from, I think it was Berkeley School of Music, was definitely earned. So shout out to her.
Yes.
Oh yeah, and shout out to Allison Stoner, who did her feature on that VMA performance. For those that don't know, that was the little girl that was in all of her videos from back in the day. She's now a grown, beautiful woman, but she did show up and did a feature during her performance. So that was like really exciting, especially for me to see.
Absolutely.
Since I grew up watching Missy Elliott videos, to see this little girl that you've been watching for years, grown, dancing still. Absolutely. So,
that was awesome.
Another show that came out this past week was for those that love comedy, is the Black Lady Sketch Show. Did y'all see that on HBO? Oh my gosh, you guys have to watch it. So
I don't have HBO, so Singleton. Some of us don't have that kind of budget in their cable.
Right, But if you don't, let me fill you in on a little trick. Go to this free app that's on your phone called YouTube and type in Black Lady Sketch Show, and all of the sketches from the first show are on there. So if you want to get a nibble and a taste of it, so it's an all Black female cast. It was created by Robin Thede, who's a comedian and writer, and this was also backed by the legendary, the icon that's called Issa Rae. She backed it. She bought it because of her success with Insecure, and brought that onto another show. So now it's like this huge like comedy sketch show, all these female comedians and actresses, and they're doing all these big features Angela Bassett, Kelly Rowland. I mean, it's really funny. So go ahead and check it out if you love character sketch comedy, things like that. If you love Black women, Black girl magic, that if that's in your ethos, go check that out on HBO, Black Lady Sketch Show. I know I'm going to be checking that out.
I'm definitely going to check it out.
Go get it for the free
told
on YouTube.
Me about it. I'm definitely going to check it out. Definitely going to check it out. So our guest tonight, he has a performance tonight. So I want to be able to. Yes, we want to be able to give. We can talk about the other gossip we got for the rest of the show later on.
Okay.
But I want to hit up our guest, Kojo, the artist. I mean, he is just phenomenal in what he does. Every time I see him on some kind of video, I'm just amazed. And so I want to thank you. What is your artist that performs with you? I cannot remember her name. I've only met her twice.
Devon Danielle.
Yes. Welcome, Devon Danielle, as well. Thank you for joining us. I thank you guys. I'm glad you were able to put it in your schedule. I was thinking I wasn't gonna get you that fast, but I was glad you were available to come and hang out with us here on Hot Topics Live, because I see you've been doing some things. You've been doing some traveling, and I'm like, God, when I saw you did that wedding, that was just absolutely phenomenal. Like, that was absolutely phenomenal. I first want to know how I just know you as an artist. I just want to know, because you're not a rapper. I want to say spoken word, but you're not a spoken word. I don't know how to clarify it all. So I wanted to say spoken artist. And I was like, that ain't sound right, hey Michelle. That don't sound right. But what do you go by when it comes to your gift?
So that's been something that's been forever changing, especially in these last few years. I just like going with visionary.
Okay.
Not really putting it in an artist box. When I first, sought out to, entertain, it was rap, rapper. And I put this idea out there that I wanted to start traveling and doing more. And once I started traveling, which was about 3 years ago, going to different places, and the reaction I started getting, when I first started, like a kid, lunchroom, lunch table, whatever, got a little older, started doing like open mics and different things around Annapolis, to Baltimore, DC, New York, just going around. People was just like, oh, you're a dope rapper, you hot flow, stuff like that. And I'm just like, cool, but it never really elevated. It was just like, being the hot guy in your city or the hot guy in your neighborhood and all of that. When I made this transition into sharing this music and things outside of my area, the reaction I started getting, and I think it was because when you do something long enough, people start looking at you like, oh, that's just Kojo from there. I know him from there. Or that's just Kojo that be with this person or be with that person. So when I started traveling, it became, people who didn't know me personally, it was just like, wow. And the reaction I started getting, like people crying. And I'm like, now, and I normally only ever seen this like on documentaries about Michael Jackson. Like, why are they crying? It didn't connect until I started getting off stages and people wasn't telling me, oh, that's hot, or that was dope, or that's fire. They started saying, I can relate. I felt you. They start telling me their business because I'm sharing my story in a lot of these songs, and people start saying, strangers. Man,
you freeing people. You helping people get free.
My grandmother, my grandmama, suffering from cancer right now. Or, my sister was killed in this situation. So from there, it was just like a lot of people put artists on their name, and I just could no longer keep myself in that space. So I'm just going with visionary.
Okay, that sounds good. What Jerome says, hello, Devon and Kojo. Keep grinding. And so yeah, but I've admired you from the first time I saw a video of you, because I saw a video of you first before I actually saw you live.
Okay.
And so I was just like, wow. To me, your spoken word was just on a whole nother level. And speaking when I saw it, and that was it. So when I saw it, I was like, wow, he is really gifted. And I could tell, and it was about your life. So in saying that, Who is Kojo? Who is he?
Kojo. I just say I'm a kid from Annapolis, Maryland, with a big dream, a big spirit, and somebody who trying to change the world, to making purpose popular, because we live in where it's a bunch of negativity and that gets the light. The things that's status quo is as of now, as far as what people listen to or subscribe to. So I'm just trying to be the person who throw a little division in that. Just trying to create something different.
Okay. So in doing that, with you being an visionary, was it your vision to free people by being free of who you are, being in your freedom, saying, okay, I'm expressing who I am? But was that your goal, to get people to express who they are? Or was it just, hey, I'm just doing this because I want people to know who I am?
Yeah, I think I have to give all credit to God in that in that space, because really a lot of those songs and things that I was performing, like, these songs are really 10 years old or further, right? And I had no idea, like, I'm writing my truth, but I had no idea, like, because I'm writing it over beats, I'm in the studio, and I never realized that it was going to serve the purpose that it was serving years down the line. So, like, one of the things I do, when I say I've never been stingy, so I'm sharing my business. When I said that, like I said, it was in rap form. I never knew that down the line I was gonna be doing this a cappella without a beat and saying this same thing. And right there, normally in the shows, and I post that a lot, when I say that part, you hear the crowd, you feel a shift.
Yeah.
So it's just like, right.
My mother still remembers you. Let's be real clear. That was the first time she saw you, was at the private concert, and she said, I just remember that guy, that one that just kept turning his head. My mother still remembers you. So man, that's the lasting impression. And I'm talking about somebody who, she old school, but I be telling people my mother ratchet. They be like, I said, she likes hip hop. Y'all just don't know it. But she remembers you and remembers the story. Like she heard it yesterday, and she really was impressed at the time, because she was like, I'd never heard anybody literally speak in that fashion, like really tell the real truth for themselves in that capacity.
Yeah, that's always been the aim. When I realized I was listening to hip hop and rap growing up, and a lot of things my brother played for me that I listened to, but I just remember when I first heard Tupac, Brenda's Got a Baby. And it wasn't the song that got played on the radio a lot. It wasn't the song that got super video play. It wasn't that, because it was a bunch of like Hip Hop Array. It was a bunch of, songs that was getting, commercial success. But it was something about how Brenda Got a Baby and Dear Mama and songs like that just connected.
Right.
So when I heard those, I always said, like, man, I want to make people the way I'm feeling inside. And not necessarily to be sad, but it just felt real.
Right.
Like, God rest his soul, when Biggie passed away.
Right.
And We'll Be Missing You came out. Every step, they planned it everywhere. Faith Evans, 112, Puff Daddy, and it was just like this big thing. And everybody was just like, yo. And I was like, oh, I liked it too, because I was a Bad Boy fan. But when I heard We Always Love Big Papa by the Lox, and the story sounded so different. It wasn't commercial. It was just like raw feelings. And when I listened to that, I'm like, that's the emotion that I'm trying to evoke on every song, every line. I want people to feel what I'm feeling when I'm listening to these lyrics. So for you to say your mom, like, that's the goal. I want, because for the longest time, my mom, when I was, writing raps coming up, her whole thing was, I don't want you cussing. That was her fight.
Right.
And I went along with that in the beginning. Like, yeah, all right, man, I hear you, understand. When I got a little older and I started being outside and being exposed to the streets, and the first time I heard like Dead Prayers, and they were talking about how social injustice and how these schools are so messed up and not teaching the kids the right thing, I started feeling like a rebel. And, I mixed that with the things I learned in the streets, and the content of my music ultimately changed. And here comes the cuss words, here come all of that. And my mom used to always say, what happened to my, son who didn't use? I say, Mom, but it's a feeling. I can't think of no other words to express how I feel, so I'm just, I was grown, so she understood it, but she still was like, But it was one of my grandmas, who she passed away. Well, one of my grandmas, my mom's mom, she passed away now, and she always said, I hear so many people talking about you rap, but I can't ever listen to that because I can't hear all that cursing. So I'm just like, I looked at it, Granny, you old school. Come on, man. It ain't bad, And maybe about 3 years ago, I'm riding in the car with my daughter and I'm playing my music. And every time a cuss word come up, I'm either talking real loud or I start turning it down low. And right then and there, I just was like,
you got it.
I got to stop. Like,
Yeah.
so it had to mean something to me. My mom can have her own opinion. My grandmother can have her own opinion. Everybody can have their own opinion, but it had to mean something to me for me to feel it. And right then and there, that was reason enough. So from that day forward, it was just like, I'm ready to start creating music again. Because during this time, I was fasting when I went through this. And I did a 40-day fast. No alcohol, no sex, no drugs, no food, straight liquid diet, 40 days. And in this 40-day period, I'm just like, I started just understanding more. My
you're
thoughts
clear.
became a bunch-
You're
a lot
open.
clearer.
You're clear. I'm telling you, it's a whole different level when you start fasting.
Yeah,
and you avail yourself to whatever you are availing yourself to at that time.
My brother is one of my biggest critics. So I'm telling him about everything because it was his. He used to tell me all the time, you should try fasting. Once again, it never meant enough to me to do it. So I would try it years ago, go a day, and it's just like, man, I ain't doing this. I keep having these battles. But then one morning I'm watching The Breakfast Club, and David Banner was on there, and he expressed, he dope, man. He had expressed that everybody's so caught up in the idea of Jesus walking on water and all this with God walking on water. He said, well, if you try fasting for 40 days and 40 nights, maybe you could walk on water too. And not that I was trying to walk on water, but the idea of 40, when he said 40, it made me think, because one of my closest friends, he passed away, and we called him Buck 40. And when he passed away, I used to say, man, I'm gonna start waking up at 4:40 because I'm doing it 4:40. So that was like a little saying I would say to myself. So the 40 resonated with me. And right then and there, I'm like, maybe I can do this thing for 40 days. Let me really try. And like I said, after times of my brother telling me, I kept falling off. But this time I did it all the way through. And then this time we having this conversation about music and me ready to make some new music. And in that process of being ready to make the new music, I knew I wasn't cursing or using the N-word anymore. So it's just like, how am I going to come across with this aggressive thing? But all the stories are the same. So went in the studio, recorded a 4-song EP, which I titled Fame, named after my son. Faith, ambition, mercy, effort. Because to do this thing, to wake up every day as a black man, human being, anybody, you got to have faith to walk through. I walk with faith and the ambition for wanting more. And then the mercy part is, sometimes to have mercy, but also know when to show none. And none of this works without effort. So that was my idea. And that was my thought process going through this, whole transition. And when I put it out, a lot of the songs had the still aggressive content, the hard rapping, minus those words. So I seen that it still served its purpose and had a place. And from there, doors been opening.
Wow. Yes, that's how God will do.
Yes.
He will do that. I can truly say that. Jerome said, I remember when Kojo recorded a whole mixtape in a day with features, plus did a interview, shot a video, and a showcase. I called him the blueprint of an artist. Wow.
Right. Did it in a day?
Yes.
Documentary, right?
Yes. I remember because I still have mine. I have it
Can
at
you
home.
share with the audience like how you did that? Because I mean, when you first told me about it a long time ago, I was just flabbergasted. But for the new listeners and people that are just tuning in, I have to ask you again. Just tell this story. I think you'll be talking about this for years.
Yeah.
Go for it.
So in 2005, I did a mixtape called "I Did It in a Day," where because I was doing so many mixtapes, like over that course of me being in the streets and doing a bunch of illegal stuff. So I had the money just to go and pay for studio time and just whatever. I had got this reputation. Oh, Kojo work hard. And I'm like, I don't even feel like I'm pushing myself. I'm like, I could do what I'm doing right now. I can do it in a day. So I hooked up with one of my homeboys. We took it to his crib, a bunch of industry instrumentals, recorded it all in a day. And, just me rapping over other people's beats. So when I finally put it out, everybody like, yeah, right. Did that whole thing in a day. Yeah, right. Because it was kind of unheard of. This is before social media's, big and all that. I'm like, no, I really did. So, no, you didn't. That's all I was hearing. So I ran into some trouble with the law. I was facing incarceration. I knew it was coming. My court date was coming up. So I decided, I said, well, this time I'm going to do it and I'm going to document it. So I hit up Emotion at Deep Flow Studio. I told her, look, I need the camera crew. I want you to videotape the entire day. I want you to come to Annapolis. I want you to drive around with me prior to going to the studio. I'm going to, document this entire thing. So I went in there, we did it, boom, did it in a day. Too happy. I ended up getting convicted of the crime that I was, the crimes I was being charged with. Had to do a little county time, and then I got to do the rest on house arrest. So, at the time I was finishing up my house arrest time, the did it in a day thing had become like a thing because I was doing like, the first 50 people to buy a CD get a free T-shirt.
Wow.
I'm putting money inside the DVD. So the CD is coming with a DVD on part 2. So as I'm finishing up this house arrest thing, I said, man, that would be tight if I did it in a day 3 coming off a house arrest. Called Emotion again. The day I got off, January 9th, I'll never forget, 2009. Emotion, once again, came to Annapolis, videotape. We went to the detention center where I reported to every week for my house arrest counselor.
Wow.
Got the ankle bracelet cut off my ankle. Went straight to the studio from there, but I knew I had to make it bigger. The last time it was just like everybody came to the studio. So this time I knew I had to make it bigger. So this time what I did was not only did I record the entire mixtape in a day, but I threw a big party, to celebrate me being off a house arrest at this club called the Black Hole Rock Club in Dundalk. So sold over 500 tickets.
Black Hole.
We sold the place out. I mean, packed. So much so that the owner ended up like, man, you brought so many people in my establishment today. I want to pay you. And he gave me like, I had people bringing me bottles because, try to celebrate. He let me bring my own liquor in his establishment.
Wow.
I appreciate this. So all of this is before social media get really popping.
Right.
So come 2017, one of the guys who were involved as just a rapper at the time had his own studio. And he said, man, Cole, I did it in a day too early. This would be the time to do it now that it's social media. So this would be, I did it in a day 4. So I said, man, we would have to top everything I've done already. Those other studio sessions was like 12-hour sessions, 14-hour sessions. Cole, let's stream an entire 24 hours. And since you always saying 4:40, we're going to start at 4:40 a.m. on Sunday morning, and we're going to record until 4:40 a.m. Monday morning. I said, oh, man, that would be tight because this will be the first time we do a full day. So I'm like, how do I keep everybody enticed and all of that while this is going on? For me, it's going to be for all of these people who I'm going to have involved. So through my travel, and I invite people from Pittsburgh, New Jersey, Tennessee. All these people come down Detroit to be a part.
Wow, you doing it.
And not only that, now I got to entice them. So it's just like, hey, man, who else y'all know y'all could get Chick-fil-A at on Sunday? They're like, what you mean you gonna have Chick-fil-A? I'm gonna have Chick-fil-A on Sunday. Y'all show up, I'm gonna have Chick-fil-A there. So we had Chick-fil-A platters and all of that there on a Sunday.
Wow.
And 24-hour session. And what I did was 4:40 a.m. I started the recording process. First song on the project goes 4:40 a.m. You know, it's the first thing I say. So now I do that. But in the process of recording, I set up 2 performances, one in Baltimore, one in DC. So when I leave the studio, the features are doing their parts.
Okay.
So I leave, go to Baltimore City, do a performance, come back, start recording the mixtape again. In the process of that, I got Jerome, shout out to him. He's there doing interviews of people.
Wow.
Then I have my cameraman there as well. One of the songs that I recorded that day, we shoot a video for it right then and there on the spot with everybody in it. I leave the studio again, drive to DC, do another performance, come back to the studio and continue recording all of this. And like I said, every time I leave, we never stop rolling. Like so the live stream is on Facebook. I'm going to be sharing it a lot in these coming weeks because it's coming up on the anniversary because we did it in September of last year. So
you have to put it back up.
So yeah, I'm going to be.
So are all the videos like on YouTube and all of that?
No.
All of those videos on.
So it was so. I didn't understand how to save it. We had like a camera crew actually come in, set up cameras, get like 2 different angles, and we're just streaming live from Facebook. But we wasn't doing it from our phones. We was doing it straight from this guy's camera, like this multimedia company. So they did the straight streaming. It's like recording the engineer, recording the people in the booth, and everybody just came together and made it happen. I came out with 36 songs that day.
Wow.
And not only that, some of the producers showed up on the spot and was like, oh, you want a challenge? We're going to make the beat right now. So I don't want people to get it misconstrued. A lot of these songs I had pre-written. They were ready to be recorded, but they hadn't been recorded.
Right.
So when producers start showing up and say, well, I'm going to make a beat on the spot, now it's like, oh, all right, now you're trying to challenge me. Now it's on. So it was a lot of things. And not only that did I have features, but I did like an entire cipher where I let every artist who came through pick their own classic hip hop beat, whatever they love from their time. And I mean, some people picked Run DMC.
Wow.
Some people picked early Jay-Z, and they rapped over top of these beats. So not only are we recording my project, but they're doing a cipher together once again, just to create the camaraderie between other artists who, on a lot of ways wouldn't have had this opportunity because once again, we got the studio paid for all the way out. And then the beauty in it was the people who see me doing this on Facebook was like, I read, what's the address? And they pulled up and just got on the project right then and there.
So will there be did it in a day 5?
I actually told everybody did it in a day 4 was going to be the finale. But you know what? The response is gotten. It's made me feel like I need to do it again. I definitely got to figure out like a bigger, like how can I top doing
because you done did some major stuff right there. Like you done sold out a whole club. And like what can we do different?
What's next?
Wow, I would have to really think that one through because it's still a lot you could do though.
Yeah.
It's still a lot you could do.
And I'm definitely looking forward to putting it together. At this point, it's just coming up with those ideas because, like I said, we had chicken fillet on a Sunday. We had.
How did you do that? Chicken fillet on a Sunday.
Right. Like that don't happen. So that means
are you just gonna up the star power on the features next time?
I think that'll definitely be a part of what it is. But I'm one of those people who really, really big on working with people you respect and working with people who bring, something to the table. And like I said, in my travels, I've met some solid but very influential artists who I think, and executives who I think I could get to come out and be a part of it.
Awesome.
Oh,
that sounds great. I like that. Wow. I didn't know it was that many of them. I thought it was the one I got was that was it, right? So, but that is awesome. I love how that whole storyline went. Just hearing how you just still never gave up. You kept moving and kept moving and kept moving with your career. And in spite of all of what was going on in your life, you didn't give up. And some people, having been incarcerated could have changed your whole mindset.
Oh yeah.
It can be a do or die. It can even prompt you to move forward, or it can set you back. And so to hear that it pressed you to move forward, and hearing how you even thought about kept going forward while you were in there when you came home, and how you intertwined that. I just would have loved to have been a part of just seeing how that whole orchestration went with doing the video, going to the place, cutting it off and all that kind of stuff. Oh my gosh, that was just, it would have been a crying moment, but a good moment, just seeing that.
All the footage of I Did It in a Day 2 prior to me being arrested is on YouTube. That entire thing is on YouTube. Kojo, I Did It in a Day Part 2. You can see the entire DVD on there. It's probably like an hour long. And it shows the entire process. It's bits and pieces of Part 3 on there as well from the party. But yeah, it was a great thing. Especially when I'm watching different people in the industry who are now doing like these things. A lot of the similar things, like Gucci Mane did a project called All in the Day's Work, and Bun B just recently did I Did It in a Day project. And once again, it's kind of funny, like, oh man, like now he said the same thing. He said, I streaming it, and Fat Joe just happened to see it and say, man, I want to come through. And so that's tight that once again, it make me feel like I'm on the right track. If
you're on the right track, but if you sound like you was the one who was the starter of that.
Oh, for sure.
So we can't say you on the right track. Seem like they getting on the track,
right?
Sound like you ahead of the curve. I mean, so far ahead of the curve. Oh my gosh, that has just been great hearing that story. I've never heard the story like that, and to hear that that's just awesome. I'm just, like I said, I'm always been in awe since I first found out about you, and then just continuing to follow you the way I have, and just seeing how you've just been moving. Like I said, when I saw that wedding recently, that was just like so awesome, like such a tearjerker. I was like, wow, this is so phenomenal.
So do you want to do more weddings, or will you be the wedding rapper?
Yes,
the wedding poet?
I call it Wedding Flow Co.
Wedding Flow Co.
Yeah,
okay.
it was really
I like that.
It really happened like what they say, nothing's accidental. But literally, I just came back from Glen Falls, New York, doing an event, and I got back home maybe about 9-10 the very next morning, and I'm at my mom's crib and just chilling, and I get a call from an artist from Baltimore who told me he had an event going on in his community. He was like, man, I seen you was in New York last night. I don't know if you back, but if you are, I'm having this community event for the kids. Can you come out? Shout to Blizzard. His name's Blizz.
Oh, Blizz. Okay.
So I said, all right, cool. I'll come through, pull up. So I came out and I did the event. I performed, and there was a couple there who seen me do the thing with my hat when I go back and forth arguing with myself. So they came up to me and they said, I don't know if you got any plans for June 30th, but if you don't, we would like to have you to come do this event. So I'm just like, okay, cool. Just, I'll check my calendar and I'll let you know. They gave me their number. And so I reached out and I said, I actually have to be in Virginia early on the 30th. What time is your event? And they said about 6 o'clock. I said, I can make that. Yeah, I can do that. So they said, I want you to perform at my wedding. And I said, because I had performed this rendition of this song I got called How You Living. That's like a twist up of the In Living Color theme song. And it has like the Mary J. Blige hook, Real Love in it. Okay. And I did like a lot of like late 80s, 90s flips in the verses and on the hook. So they were older couple. So I said, oh, y'all want me to perform at your wedding reception? I get it. Okay. They said, no, not the reception, the wedding. So I was like, okay. All right. So y'all can break this down for me. So what ended up happening was they told me that, they just wanted me to come up with some love stuff, whatever. I said, all right, cool. So I came up with a couple different things and I, voice recorded, sent it to them. They end up liking them all. It was like, I said, I'm not going to be able to remember all of them. You got to pick one. So they picked one, but all the other ones that I did like type them up and email them to them just so they gave it, because this was completely tailored for them.
Wow.
And so when I did when I when they pick the one that they wanted, I said, all right, cool. I'm memorizing it, getting it together. So maybe a week into this, which is now we only like 2.5 weeks from the wedding, the guy calls me without his wife knowing and says, man, we so excited. We like what you're doing, with the wedding thing, but I got to ask you a favor. I said, talk to me. Would you mind doing another one? I said, okay. You don't like the one I did? No, I want that one, but I need another one. And he proceeds to tell me his life story. Like, me and her been together for over 10 years. But I left her and I married somebody else. And in this time of me marrying somebody else, she went through this really, really hard time. Losing her father. It was just a bunch of things that happened in her life. And then she even had like some physical sickness that happened with her personally. And he said, man, I don't know if her family even rocks with me, but I knew I made a mistake and I married the wrong person and I needed her back. I made it happen, but I got all of these thoughts that I don't know how to express them. So he tells me the whole story, but what he wants is me to do the thing with the head where he's his younger self arguing with his older self.
Oh, wow.
So once he gives me all the information,
we all like, wow.
I'm sorry.
I'm gonna watch this video.
It's something else with me and her sometimes. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
In unison.
Wow. Oh my
so
goodness.
Once he gives me all the information, I put it together and I called him. I said, man, I got it. You want to hear it? He said, no. I said, hold on. Wait a minute. I want you to hear this first. He said, I don't want to hear it. He said, God put you in my life for a reason, and I trust it. I said, you're calling me without your wife knowing. I don't care what a man thinks. This is her wedding. So you're about to have me put your business
period.
on, Front Street. And this ain't the most comfortable things because I'm being really, really real about what I'm speaking about. And he said, no, man, I trust you. So I said, okay, you paid, all right, I'm coming. And it was super dope because not only I got to wear hat at the wedding, so it's like I get to get my cool on. He told me, oh man, just all white Air Forces. You ain't got to be real dressed up. Everybody just can have all white. And he got me a custom made polo shirt with my name on it. And on the back, it said Master of Ceremony. I hosted the wedding like DJ Clue would do. So like I introduced the mom, the dad, the bridesmaids and all of that.
Goodness.
So not only did I get to, do my performance piece, but
This is a whole nother stream of income, by the way.
Yeah.
Don't you?
I know that's
So
right.
She didn't realize what was happening. So after I do the original piece that she knew about, she's probably like, okay, Kojo's sticking around for what,
Right.
Because at this point, now the actual wedding is over and they break into the reception. So it's just like, what is he still
here for?
We paid him, right? So she had no idea that this was coming. So he
Wow.
told me,
So you did this during the reception portion.
now
Wow.
So he said, I'm gonna give my speech, but when I say exercise my demons, I'm just gonna stop. And I want you to come in.
Wow.
So he's giving his speech. I'm sitting in the corner. They don't know what's coming. He do that. He stop. I go, bah, 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 give it a standing ovation. Everybody claps. She's back there in tears.
Oh my goodness.
Like I said, I'm giving all the information he told me, personal stuff is being expressed in this thing about how he's feeling about himself, I messed up. I'm glad I got this chance to make it right. Bah, 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 all of these things. So that went off so good that now it made other people reach out, which is what you guys probably seen. This other couple reached out and they were getting married in St. Thomas. See, this particular wedding that I told you about first was in Baltimore.
Okay.
So when this one that just took place in the Virgin Islands in St. Thomas, it was just the other couple seeing what I did with them. It's just like, you think you could? I'm like, of course. It's like, our wedding's in St. Thomas. I'm like, well, you got to take care of that, right? So yeah, they took care of the whole thing.
Awesome.
Look at you.
Look at God. Look at God. Look at God.
Freevacation.com.
I expressed, I never, the only time I've ever heard of St. Thomas was in Jay-Z songs. So, for them to say I'm coming, to come and do that type of thing, it's like, all right, cool. This situation was a little different because I'm familiar with the couple. So it was just like, now I can really boom, boom, boom. So it went, I'm familiar with the groom. So but once again, piecing it together, putting
Right.
it together, and it went off like.
So because you knew him or knew them, it makes it a little bit, I guess, easier for you to write sometimes, maybe.
So yeah, it was a lot. It was easier, but then tough at the same time, because in this particular situation, it was pressure on it because when I say I know, like it's my cousin, right?
Okay.
Family.
Hold on. So this is where it gets sticky because my grandma, who I was telling you about, who passed away, this would have been something she would have been in attendance at, and I was made aware that the bride's mom had passed away. So when I went into my process for this, I really felt like the energy being channeled from like higher powers, like really, like, and I knew I wanted to like speak on certain things, and once again, it went off so well and so good that there was a couple that wasn't even there for their wedding. They seen it from the balcony of the hotel resort, came down and said, "Man, listen, we're getting married in Paris in May. Can we book you?"
Wow.
So is that a go?
Wow.
I'm waiting on the rest of the details. I told them what I would need, what would have to be done.
Awesome.
Come May,
Are you going with them?
I told him to hire me as his stylist.
Okay, I know that's right, girl. I know that's right. I know that's right.
We need
Put me in the
assistance.
rider.
Yeah, put her in the budget.
Oh my goodness. Figure it
lady in
out.
the budget.
Figure it out. Figure it out. Oh my gosh, that is awesome. You never know how God is going to turn things. And
Yeah.
who would ever thought doing weddings?
Now,
Doing weddings.
Imagine me at that time. What if that first couple in Baltimore who seen me saying, "Mother, I'm done."
Right.
This
They
would
wouldn't
have never
have done
happened.
that.
That's
So
what I say.
why
Timing
said-
is
so this was
everything.
after I
Timing is
decided to
everything.
not use certain language or whatever. So when I peeped it, like that's why I said crazy doors opening just from a small change in what you've done. I heard a guy once say like, you have to be ready to give up everything you were for everything you want.
Yes.
So
Yes.
Yeah.
And everybody's not willing to do that.
No, I know.
And when you're willing to make those sacrifices and how your life can ever be changed, I'm telling you from one who knows. And so, what you're saying is so true. And sometimes you have to find yourself like, wow, was that the path I had to go in order to get, like, you think the path that you're taking is because it's going okay sometimes. It's doing okay.
Yeah.
But it's not where God sees you to be and where he could take you and where he has goals for you to be. And sometimes, we think our goals are everything, but he has even better goals. And so when we avail ourselves to him, he will open up doors like you would never believe. That's all I can tell you. When I tell you, he will, all of what you've been through, no matter what, no matter how dark them days got, he still kept you during that process. But then when you really avail yourself and like you did, you said you kept fasting, because I used to be like that back in the day, fasting halfway through the fast, I'm like, I can't do it no more. I'm tired. I want to eat, I want to do this. I want to do that. But when that first time I really availed myself and I saw what he began to do in my life and how it was like, wow. Like when you really avail to him and he knows that, he feels that, he knows what he will, like you said, the doors will open and you'll be like, wow, this is what I was missing.
Yeah. When you stop becoming, when you can start fighting the flesh, it's like,
yes,
it's a different type of power. And for me, it wasn't like literally, it wasn't about weight. It wasn't about anything else besides me wanting to prove that I was mentally strong enough to do it. Period.
Right.
That was all it started out as. Next thing I know, it's like I'm really ready to stop cussing. Like I don't think I got to cuss in my raps no more. Like I can,
Right.
And the first time I went in the studio after, I felt like the way I'm, falling in between the beat and kind of came with a different flow from what I was doing at first. And I credit that to God.
Because you have a ministry and your ministry is going to change some lives and probably has already changed some lives already.
Well, look at that. You went from Baltimore to St. Thomas in the Caribbean. Now you're going to Europe. What's next? Africa, Asia. I'm gonna claim it for you. I say you're gonna touch all of the continents in this whole journey, this pathway. You know what I mean? Because as you go to Paris, somebody will see you there. You come back to the States, people will continue to see you here, and they'll just ask you, and that might not be like your shtick, but it will lead you to where you want to be. I honestly believe that.
Thank you.
And where God has for you to be.
Because you were obedient to it. You didn't self-sabotage. You didn't. You took the opportunity, and you did it. And look where that's lent you, So when I saw that, I was like, wow. I said, this is a whole nother thing. There's some MCs in this city that wouldn't do that.
Yeah, and that was just awesome.
You're not brave enough.
So what is your thought though, Kojo, on the self-sabotaging? Because I'm starting to see that with artists, that this self-sabotaging, they started having a pretty decent career, and or things are moving in a good positive way for them, and then they self-sabotage themselves. What is your thoughts on that?
I think what happens is, me being an artist myself, a lot of times people see where they want to be and where they want to go, and they see it from their standpoint. And nothing's wrong with having an idea. But if I had took the approach that I had planned on taking originally, I think I would have self-sabotaged myself. I think having people around who I always say, like, the people around me, like, no yes people, right? Like, I like hearing, like, give it to me real. Now, whether we agree or disagree, I rather like the honesty, because if you don't get the real, I think a lot of times people live in their own mind and in their own head, and they believe like just everything they say, and that's it. That's the word to them. So like, there's artists who I know, or who I've seen from a distance, who I may not know personally, who is like, you become a prisoner of like having to keep up with a certain persona or certain look, and really feel like they got to run in this lane. And I feel like that alone is self-sabotaging when you put yourself into a box. That's why I told you earlier, like, the whole idea of making purpose popular. I think if right now you guys told me that, Kojo, you should do more trap music, you should do more, gangster stuff, whatever the case may be, that's not my purpose. It's like, or if I was like, you guys are people who opinions I respect, and I'm speaking to y'all, and I'm telling you, man, this is what I want to do. This is what I want to do. And you can see it from a scope or lens that I can't see it from. It's just like, sometimes you got to take that information in, check in before you check out. So it's just like, I'm a firm believer in, grasping information. And I think a lot of times people don't do that. They don't grasp information. They'll go against even their own better judgment just to appease the devil or whatever. What I'm saying?
Right.
For
or others and things of that nature.
Yeah. And that, to me, that's like a tough thing. But once again, it has to be something they realize.
Right.
Because until you can realize it for yourself, the same way, like I said,
but it's so sad, because some of them don't even see it though. Some of them don't even believe that they're self-sabotaging themselves. And it's so sad because they're killing themselves before they even get moving.
No, and that's the unfortunate part. The old saying, you gotta hard head make a soft tail, or, you gotta touch the oven to know it's hot. Some people are those people, and like I said, I don't knock it for the younger, because I was there. You know what I'm saying? But for some people, it's like it's like, yo, you should know better. You know what I mean? Like, as they say, when you know better, you do better.
Right.
And I think some people don't want the information, or don't want it, because now they have to abide by it. And now if they don't, they know they're literally, going against what's right. And for me, super self-sabotaging. And like I said, I feel like there was times that, I was in that space myself where the sabotaging on my own career, goals, things I wanted to achieve, literally came from me not being open to hearing others' opinions and just living in my own mind, and B, um, allowing people around me who don't have clarity of who they are as well. Because it's just like, if you don't know who you are, you getting information from a bunch of places that's like not even valid. That's not even, look, their whole goal may be to watch you. You know what I mean? And that's why I said, when you have yes people around you, people who just tell you yes, you're great about everything you do, it's just like,
it's the worst thing in your
yeah.
life. It's the worst thing in your life when you have those kind of people.
Before I did it in a day 2, mind you, I'm fresh off. I did it in a day 1. At the time, I'm in the streets. I'm feeling myself. You can't tell me nothing. The day before I did it in a day 2, I let one of my friends who no cut cards, I love them to death, hear the raps that I was doing. Then, for the following day, I let him hear it was about 19 rhymes. Cause some of my solo songs, this the songs I'm doing with other people. He looked at me and said, "You think that was good?" I'm like, man, what? Did you hear what I said? I've been listening to you for years now. Like, you're not doing that from a real place. Like, I don't feel that. Like, and I don't think it's gonna come across right now. I could have eased, man, you don't know what you're talking about, whatever. Or I could take, his criticism and like, dang, I'd rather hear from somebody who loved me and I love than to hear from,
a stranger.
Right. Cause it's just like, man, y'all let me go out like that or whatever. And I really spent that entire night rewriting just about every rhyme. The ones I felt strongly about, it's just like, I'm gonna keep, but like, I really took heed to what he said. And I'm just like, no, like,
and that's good
let's
as a
meet
person.
Let's compromise. Let me meet you in the middle, because it wasn't like he was a rapper or anything like that. So he's listening from an ear of somebody who's a consumer of music, somebody who just likes what he likes. So when he's telling me this, like, he has no reason, like, this ain't no ego thing. This ain't no like, oh, I'm just trying to break you down. No, I'm just giving you real advice. And once again, after that, to this day, a lot of times people tell me I did it in a day 2 is, and mind you, I have over 20 something mixtapes. So for that to fall around 4 or 5 as far as projects that people say of mine that's, their top favorite, I'm glad I took that advice.
Wow, that was good. That was good. And at least you were open to it, because so many people aren't. As you said, you could have, but you didn't, and you did take it and, adjust it where you felt like needed to be adjusted. And that's a good thing. I like that you were open to do that. So we have Miss Devon back there. I've heard her several times. Hi. And I like her. Because the first time I heard you live, I did not hear her. And then you brought her. I later on saw you bringing her in on different events. And how did that whole relationship come about? How did you guys begin to connect and make it all work and all that good stuff?
I used to, I played the piano at church.
Okay.
So I used to play for the youth choir at the church he was attending.
Okay.
So he came up to me after church like, yo, we got to do something, like after, I guess, the Holy Ghost hit him.
Yes, amen. I know that's right.
Somewhere or another. And then I think I used to have a mohawk. So I ran into him at the barbershop one time too.
Okay.
So then he said, then I think that's when we really locked in and exchanged information and everything. And then just from there, it's been just a working relationship.
Awesome. So how is it, with you guys collaborating? How did that relationship, did you guys gel, or did it just gel immediately, or did you guys have to work together to make it kind of start fitting in the pieces together?
I think one thing you can't create is chemistry. Like either it's there or it's not.
Right.
And what they say, energy can't be created or destroyed. That's transferred from one party to the next. So I think we both had that energy and chemistry with each other. So it kind of came naturally almost.
Oh, awesome.
He sent me a beat, and I think I called him and just sang it to him over the phone. And I think it kind of caught him off guard because at this time, I was just coming home from college. I just kind of was coming into my own as an artist, like trying to
Okay.
take this thing seriously. So I guess the turnaround time between when he sent the beat and when I called him with the finished product was kind of took him aback a little bit. So I guess that's when he figured out, oh, she's serious for real. She's not just like a.
So are you a music major?
I am not. I actually studied kinesiology and exercise science.
Okay.
Cool.
Wow. Wow. What a diverse.
I wish I would have studied music.
Okay, it's
I
never too
really
late.
do.
Never too late.
Never
in life.
too late.
Never too late in life. So, Kojo, you sent us some music called "Working." Can you tell us about that?
So this song I got currently it's called Working Harder Than Everybody. One thing I've been priding myself on these last few years is getting out there and making it known like who I am outside of the area. So I've been going by this whole moniker of Mr. 100 shows a year. So I've been making it my business to do at least 100 events.
So you had 70 something. I saw you posted, right?
Yeah,
okay.
70
He had
last 4 months.
He's at 70 something for so far this year.
Yeah.
Oh wow!
So-
And it's about to be September.
Right.
Yeah.
So that last 30
30
is going to be
easy,
a breeze.
right? That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying. Easy. When I saw that, because I remember you telling me that before, and so when I saw that, I said, "Oh, I think that day when I saw you was at 72.
Okay.
I think you posted like 72 or something like that,
Yeah,
and I was like, "Yes, he is almost at his 100."
Yeah.
You know, that was my thought.
A board at home. That
Yeah. I got a calendar of like, you know, as I go on. What actually happens is I did like the first year I decided to do this, I ended up doing 111 shows.
Okay.
And then the following year I did 103.
Okay.
So last year would have made the third year I did it. I only did 77 last year.
Okay.
So this year, you know, I'm at 72 now.
Right.
So I was really like telling myself, and one of the engineer who actually came up with the idea and the format for this song, me and him were kind of on like not speaking terms at the time because you know, just the energy, like, man, and he's the guy who said, yo, you got to do I Did It in a Day now. So me and him was going back and forth just about, you know, the creative process. Man, we got to work even harder, we got to do more. So there's this thing on YouTube called Will Smith's Wisdom. And I had played this clip for him years ago. He's a little younger than me, but I played this clip for him years ago. And Will Smith says in the clip, you can look better than me, you can have more money than me, you can have it on me in every category. But if me and you get on the treadmill, only two things can happen. Either you getting off first or I'm gonna die. Because that's how hard I'm gonna go. Like, I will not be outworked. So I trying to, you know, put this in my mind, like, ooh, like if I display this type of work ethic, like no matter if people have a preference of music or what they like, what they don't like, what won't be denied is this guy works hard. So when I got the call from him at like 2 a.m, I'm like, what are he calling me for? You know, because like I said, we just had this back and forth of like, man, you know, just creative differences. And he like, I bet you ain't working right now. And I'm like, who ain't working? I'm always working. What's up? You know? I really wasn't working. I was laying down at that time. So
you know, you were gonna tell him. Okay.
Yeah. So I'm like, what you calling me for? What's up? And he's just like, you ain't working right now. I got a song right now, and if you come here and you hear it, you're gonna record the whole thing tonight. I said, well, I'm on my way. You know, neither one of us could let our energy off of like being aggressive.
He really wrapped you up.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I come. So I get to the studio, and he's in South Baltimore. So it's about 25 minutes away from me or whatever. So I get on the highway, I get there. He was like, are you ready? Are you ready to hear this?
Oh my God.
And he's a rapper himself. But he didn't stop rapping to just do the engineer thing. And he's like, I'm on the song too. So it's just like, you on a song? I thought you ain't.
Oh, so y'all about to be battling, huh?
But, no, this Bonafide.
Oh, okay.
Tony Craig. So he said all he did was the hook. So it's just like, check this out. And it's I'm like, okay, I like the sound of this. Then I just see him. I'm working harder than everybody. I said, oh my gosh. I don't want to like it because it's just like I want to keep this. I want to keep this vibe going between me. I'm like, all right. let's go. You right. You right. So I end up coming up with the whole thing we recorded that
Wow.
night, and we put a little clip on Instagram. And a lot of people was like, "Oh, that sounds like it's gonna be tight. That sounds like it's gonna be tight." So me and him knew it was like a really good record. I played it for a few people. Everybody was like, "No, that sounds tight, man." And then once again, it's the aggression. I don't normally do like stuff that got like a commercial feel. So I'm just like, "Oh, all right, yeah, we might got something with this." And it got crazy because we started saying, so what are we gonna do for cover art? Because I want to put this out as a single. What are we gonna do for the cover art? So at the time, I'm going through some like papers and different things, and I found a bunch of old pictures of my dad. And my dad is real big into politics in the city of Annapolis. Growing up, me and him didn't have like a good relationship at all. We were my mom raised me in the hood. So like he's doing all of these positive things, but not being in my life as a dad. So I always kind of had a little resentment, whatever, toward him. And in this process of me going through his papers and going through things, just finding these pictures, I always knew because I heard from other people like your father's, but it never translated to me as like a reason for him not to be around. So because I'm a father, so I'm gonna make sure I'm there for my kids. He wasn't there, like that. What I realized in this moment though, because I'm seeing pictures with him and Rosa Parks.
Wow.
Him and Jesse Jackson. Him and Desmond Tutu, the prime leader Africa. Him and Oprah. And I'm like, oh, he was working, Then I found out that he had led, the FBI had been investigating my dad since he was 12. Because when Martin Luther King passed away, he led all the kids in Annapolis High School to do a walkout.
Oh, wow.
They threw expelled him from all schools. And a guy who didn't know my dad personally was so impressed with him at this young age that he paid for my dad to go to private school until he graduated. So I'm like, man, and then you see all these pictures and photos of him leading marches, young people, and it's just like indirectly through his words and his actions, it's like my mom always said, you and your father got this little thing because y'all just alike.
Because y'all life changes.
And I started to see it, and I'm just like, man, I sent all these pictures to my graphic guy. I was just like, make this the cover. So he, mashed all of these different images and things of my dad together. And I just thought that would have been a full circle thing, because in my past, I had so many songs where I'm speaking on how unpositive and not good me and his relationship was. And now me and him, like, that's my guy. Like, this is my guy. And this Working Harder Than Everybody cover was kind of to show that, like, let me put him on Front Street, because I could easily be in my feelings and have these thoughts of how I felt he should did. But when I realized like what he was doing, like, yo, you interviewed Rosa Parks? Like, what? Like, you kicked it with Oprah? Like, y'all worked together, like, and got stories. And I just thought that was like so dope. And I'm like, oh no, he working now. That's working.
But see, the thing is, you healed that relationship. God allowed you to be able to help heal that relationship, because God was going to ultimately do it at some point, and how he was going to do it, obviously the way that he chose to orchestrate that in you, that you were able to come up with that idea. That lets you know that you were healed, and that's a good thing for you as well as for him. But to let people see that you can't hold those grudges forever. You got to begin to heal, even if everything has not been talked about, everything has not been laid on the table. You got to begin a healing process, because honestly, at the end of the day, you not forgiving him or you holding the grudges you had was only blocking your blessing.
I tell him, I say it all the time. I said, man, it's crazy that we had to have years of back and forths, arguing different, things. The dopest thing about me and his situation was we were both able to be honest about where it stood, and he had to, from his point, take responsibility. Like, yo, you're right. I was the father. You know what I'm saying? These are things that as a father I get, but one day you're gonna have children. This was one of the early conversations, and you're gonna understand. It's things you don't understand and don't see. So right now, me being a father, I look at it and say, man, I do see how hard it is to balance
parenting.
What you feel like your purpose is. In his case, civil rights, and all of these things. Mine being, expressing this music, and then being able to find that balance and find that time. He had people requesting him all the time. I need you here. I need you there. I need you here. I need you there. On top of that, him and my mom wasn't like together. So it wasn't like, in the household. So it was just a bunch. But it made me respect it and understand, like, okay, cool. And then once again, the point of being able to say, I know where I stand, because like I told you all, I was into the streets. I was doing like illegal things. And this is when I really knew that his power and where he stood. And it made me adapt it, because when I got arrested, it wasn't just like, Kojo Snowden arrested. It said Kojo Snowden, the son of Carl Snowden. So that's how it, they try to bring him down with my things. And that's how I see it, a lot of times with people I'm affiliated with or close with.
That's happening with Stokey Kennedy, by the way.
Yeah. They want to attach, anybody and anything, especially when.
But that's what that's what the media does.
Yeah,
the minute they
sure.
can find out that you are connected with any and every prominent person, they're going to use that.
And that just shows you where your power really lies. Because if they want to, if I got a ton of friends who've been arrested and incarcerated, and no disrespect to their parent or anybody, but their name was in the paper solo, and
not your name,
and they had way bigger situations than I had, and theirs might have been this small. Like I had mine like landed on like the TV. Like this wasn't just like swept on the rug back.
You got a
like
front page.
Oh yeah, they front paged it, and it's just like wait a minute. And once again, what I actually have got caught with, super small situation, but because of
because your dad's a politician, then it's like
in the world. And even if he wasn't a politician, but just being in that arena,
and and what they didn't realize, because like I said, as a kid going to school, teachers found out who I was, knew the last name, and it's like, you know whose son this is. They're walking me around, not allowing me to go to lunch or recess. Like, and I'm so young, I'm not even sure why. So it took like 2 weeks for me to go home. Like, mine, for some reason, Miss Kirby keep walking me around to everybody and saying, whose son this is, and they not letting me go to recess or lunch with the kids. Like, I don't get it. And I, it was before I understood.
Right.
Okay. So it's just like, dang, that's what it is. So
and your mom had to break it down for you. Like, this is why you're being set apart.
Yup. So when you walk around with a target on your back and a magnifying glass to everything you do, because once again, I've known
it's almost like being a PK kid and all that kind of stuff. It's almost that same kind of celebrities. It's like that whole politics, that whole surrounding like that. The one child, do one thing and it's all over the news. It's all over everything. It's, big deal. But I'm glad to hear that you guys were able to work through and heal, because again, when people hold grudges for whatever they're, don't get me wrong. It's not that I'm insensitive, but I just feel like when we trying to follow, at least live by the word as much as we possibly can. And God speaks of how we forgive, and we think about all the stuff we keep asking God to forgive us for, and we can't forgive somebody who's right here, our flesh and blood, our loved ones. We got to learn to, forgive.
For sure.
We're not going to say you'll ever forget, but you got to learn to forgive, and honestly forgive, genuinely forgive, not, I just forgive you. No, we have to begin to forgiving process, because the forgiveness is to help heal you. It will heal them. Don't get me wrong, but it's more so what God expects of us when we're trying to live a pretty decent life under his auspices, in the way he would like us to live. And so if we know the word, we need to try to live by the word as much as possible.
Right.
So to hear that, it was good that you guys were able to bring that type of closure. It will fix those things that were semi-broken.
Yeah, for sure.
semi broken, because we can't say it was all broken. There was just some things that needed to be worked on, and it sounds like you guys are still doing that. So we're going to listen to we want you to introduce this for us. We want you to introduce this for us.
Yeah, it's your boy Kojo Snowden. I gotta throw Snowden in there since Dame said we gotta hustle for that last name, not at first. So yeah, this my single featuring Tony Craft titled "Working Harder Than Everybody." You can stream it everywhere where music is available. Check it out.
I love your music. Jello Beats, holla at me.
Yeah, I'm working harder than everybody. 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 Yeah, I'm working harder than everybody.
24/7, 365. This is a stick up, baby. Reach for the sky. You gotta grind and you work a 9 to 5. You do it all, Lord. Hustles on the side. Salute, do your thing, get your loot. I was about mine before I stepped up off the stoop. All facts. Pillsbury dope boy. This for the baddies and all the dope boys. I'm working harder than everybody. Little loud. I'm working harder than everybody. Now turn up. I'm working harder than everybody.
Yeah, I'm working harder than everybody. Yeah, I'm working harder than everybody. Yeah, I'm working harder than everybody. Yeah, I'm working harder than everybody. Yeah, I'm working harder than everybody. Yeah, I'm working harder than everybody. Yeah, I'm working harder than everybody. Yeah, I'm working harder than everybody.
I does what I want while you do what you can do. 5 words, does my hustle offend you? Mic check 1 2 1 2. And you know the new rules is we ain't got no rules. Gather around, this the sound, I hope you all listening. My boys got that white girl cut, Nicole Simpson. My boys got that white girl hold, Nicole Kidman. So with the flow, I'm giving you all feeling. I'm working harder than everybody. Little loud. I'm working harder than everybody. Little loud. I'm working harder than everybody. Now turn up. I'm working harder than everybody.
Yeah, I'm working harder than everybody. Yeah, I'm working harder than everybody. Yeah, I'm working harder than everybody. Yeah, I'm working harder than everybody. Yeah, I'm working harder than everybody. Yeah, I'm working harder than everybody. Yeah, I'm working harder than everybody. Yeah, I'm working harder than everybody.
Do-rag black. This that do-rag rap, took off the ground. This the sound that brought that do-rag back. Who talking but the grind? I am Martin in his prime. Luther, I shoot you for this Lord dream of mine. I do it for the shine, I do it for the cause. Why these silly boys out here moving for the broads? Oh, you got your dough up? When you gon' grow up? Got my bread, ham, and cheese together. Call it the cold cutter. I'm working harder than everybody. A little loud. I'm working harder than everybody. A little loud. I'm working harder than everybody. Now turn up. I'm working harder than everybody.
Yeah, I'm working harder than everybody. Yeah, I'm working harder than everybody. Yeah, I'm working harder than everybody. Yeah, I'm working harder than everybody. Right here.
This show is being sponsored by Worldwide Flavor Network. If you are looking to have your own radio show, come and join us here on WWFN Online Radio. Contact us via our website, www.worldwideflavornetwork.com.
Worldwide Flavor Network.
And we are back on the Hot Topics Live with Kojo. We just listened to Working. And I mean, that I like the beat. I like the beat. You know, that was one of my kind of like, I like that kind of move. I can move my shoulders kind of thing. I like that. I like that. I like that, Kojo.
Thank you.
So, Kojo, are you one of those kind of people you have to write that out, or can you like write on the cuff, just like, just make it happen, like just do something?
Depending on how the music moved me, like I said, we're working harder than everybody. That like super inspired by like the content. Like yeah, it's like I feel like I'm always ready to be creative. So
Okay.
like you put me in a creative space, it's like, oh, we gonna create something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, what makes a good creative space for you then?
Music, the sounds.
The sounds. Okay.
Like literally, you just tell me. I guess because at this point it's my life, right? Like I'm really like fighting to make this happen, like legacy, leave,
Okay.
my imprint on the world.
Mhm.
So for me, it's just like say it. Like we were just talking, and she had asked me, was it Dirt Road? Like Dirt Road was one of the guys I create with, right? And we can be in the studio and we can be having a full-fledged disagreement, argument about whatever. Man, why you was late? Why this? Da, da, da. I mean, going at each other, screaming. Da, da, da.
Okay.
Man, yeah. Soon as that music come on, boom, because I know I'm doing this because my life depend on it. Like there's no other way for me at this point that I see me having the life that I ultimately want. So it's really nothing for me to click into that creative space, only because I say this a lot, but it's because it's the truth.
Okay.
The things in content and stuff that lands in my music
Mm-hmm.
normally comes from a place of pain, whether it's losing a loved one,
Okay. Okay.
whether it's time I've spent, whether it hurt my mama because of my choices.
Okay.
So it's just like for moms, I'm doing whatever it take, and she ain't never got to worry about getting that phone call anymore about your son is arrested, or any of those situations. So it's just like all of this is like to honor my legacy, as I was telling you about my dad, to honor everything I stand for, and the people who spent their last to come to certain shows and fill their gas tank up to make it to different things. So those are the things I always like kind of keep in the back of my mind in their place. So when it comes to a creative space, it's like right now, and if you say here goes a beat, we got to make a song, it's like, okay, this song could possibly be the song that takes me to
The next level.
So let's create. And like I told you, it's just doors that's been being opened these last few years. In March, at the beginning of March, I had found out that there was a DVD movie coming out titled "The Burial of Kojo," and I'm like, "The Burial of Kojo? That's crazy!" Because I always told myself my first album, I wanted to call it "I'm Supposed to Be Dead." Only because all of the things that I had been through in my life is like,
And you survived
man,
it.
I survived. This is gonna be a celebration. And my producer hit me up like, man, you seen this thing? And he sent me the Twitter link. I'm like, the Burial of Kojo. Like, that's crazy. So of course I look into it to see, what it's about. And what ended up happening was, come to find out, the movie was being released on Netflix on March 31st, which just so happens to be my birthday. And it's just like,
wow.
whoa, this is crazy. So I had reached out to the people I seen tweeting it, and just so happened it was Ava DuVernay. And I'm like, her and this guy named Blitzword. And I'm like, oh man, what but it's his movie, but she brought the rights, to help promote it domestically. Because he had it just internationally. He's a writer from Africa. So I had tweeted him like, man, my name Kojo, number one. Two, my birthday's March 31st. Like, that's crazy. So he was just like, maybe it's a sign, just the universe. And immediately my producer, I said, look, I need you to make a beat. I was actually on my way to Chicago at the time. I had got the opportunity to do some work in one of Twister Studios. And
awesome.
So I had told my producer, I said, man, I need you to make a beat, because I got to do something for this. So by the time I landed, boom, the beat was in my email, went to the studio, recorded it, brought it back home, got Devon to put a hook on it, and sent it off. Started tagging, different characters and different people that was in the movie. And it, mind you, at the time, all the movie wasn't out, so I didn't actually know fully what it was about. Just had like a
idea,
they gave you a general thing. So when me and the guy talked, he like, your birth name, like that's your actual name, like on your. I'm like, yeah, Kojo. He's like, Okay, when we start talking, get tickets to the premiere. They did a premiere in Silver Spring, and the story ended up being about a guy who was currently um dealing with a lot of tragedy because he was driving his brother and his brother's wife after their wedding, got into a car accident. The wife died. The brother, held this resentment to him and ended up, trying to kill him, burn him in a mine shaft. So the brother, the Kojo, just in the mine shaft, his wife, his kid, everybody looking for him. His daughter set out to find him on her own. I have a daughter. So me and my daughter went to the premiere. Wow. Dressed like they were in the for the show, just to add the thing, and it was just like,
oh my
that's-
goodness.
So, yeah, it was super tight.
How old is your daughter?
She's 7.
Okay.
Wow.
Yep,
Do you
so-
see any signs of her wanting to get into the hip hop world in any sign,
Oh, man.
anyway?
Well, she's on I Did It in a Day 4. She came to the studio.
Okay.
It cost me a trip to Target, but yeah,
It's a cost of doing business.
That's the cost of doing business,
yeah.
Dad.
She goes to Target quite often, but she said when she
Target.
came to the studio and she did her part. I have a song on a project called Family. She did her part, and yeah, she left with her coin to go to Target.
Okay.
And she definitely then she came back to the studio just to show me what she got from Target. because
Okay.
she-
Okay. Nothing
What
wrong
your
with
money cost you. Let me show you how this
Nothing wrong with that. I
show and
love it.
tell.
I love
Daddy,
it.
I'm
I
out
love
front.
it.
Daddy,
I
I'm back.
love it. I love it. I love it.
Yes.
So, Kojo, can you kind of grace us with a little bit of something, something tonight? Just a little bit of something, something.
A little bit of something. Let's see. Okay. On I Did It in a Day. There's a real a reflective thing about me reflecting on the day, and this song is called I Did It in a Day. I said I started out with nothing, right on side direct. Before those guys ever made songs about chasing checks, I don't mean no disrespect, but I'm feeling a disconnect. I'm hoping to get a Grammy. I'm praying that this connects and don't fall on deaf ears. I'm feeling like the best here. I wrote these words for people who ain't gonna listen till next year. Yeah, I'm so ahead of my time. I rebuttal lines before I write the original rhyme. I'm so smooth when these vocals meet Pro Tools, Money Bag Flow. Yo, I'm old school. I've been a player in the game, so yes, I could coach you. All these dudes do is lie, 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 and I'm so true as I break down all of these things that I go through. One time for the sons of Adnis and Olu, I just pray I could make my dad feel the same way. But until then, just tell them I did it in a day.
Wow.
Yes.
That. I like that. Wow, Kojo, this has been really, really fun. I have truly enjoyed learning all this information that I have learned about you and your career path, and just seeing and hearing what you've already experienced, and know that you got some great things ahead of you, and you just stay focused like you are, and just know that God makes no mistake in how he's transforming you and how you're going to continue to transform lives. Your life had to go the turns that it had to for you to be able to have the testimony that you have, that you can make a difference in somebody else's life. And so I'm glad to hear that you are, doing some great things. I mean, like I said, that wedding stuff was like, yes, that's just, that's some awesome stuff right there.
It is.
Seeing that was like, wow, that is just different. That was something to put a real different spin on a person's wedding, being able to hear someone. I can only imagine with the one that you talked about, how the man wanted you to create it, create that life for him, of his past, and how he had to recognize that he made a mistake. And knowing that and admitting to that mistake, that's just awesome. That's awesome. And recognizing that. So I applaud you for all that, what you are grinding and doing, but I thank God for him using you.
Thank you.
Yep.
I thank God for him using you, because he could have used anybody, but he chose you. and he chose Devon to connect with you. And so I just see you guys, from the first time I saw her, I was like, wow, she got a voice. She ain't playing, So I was like, they're going somewhere. And, we don't know what God's timing is going to be. And I tell people all the time, God's timing is not our timing. And it can seem like a long time. It can seem like a short time. It all depends on where you are in your mindset of where you're going and how you will allow him to use you for where you're going and what you're doing in your career. So just seeing how God has really, just in the last year, that I've been watching you consistently since for the last year and a half now, last year and a half that I have literally been watching you consistently. I've just seen such major growth in just watching, and I just applaud you again. Like I said, I just wish you the very, very best, and always know Outdoors here at Worldwide Flavor Network is always open to you. You want to do anything, you have anything coming out, you want something, put on a platform, we here, we right here, we got you, we got you.
That's what it's about.
Just know that we're a great supporter of you, and I like, when you can find some good spoken word artists who can really articulate and like you said, yes, you had some things that have profanity in it, and you have some things that don't, but when you can find someone who can really articulate and don't have to have profanity, that's a good thing. That's just like when I say with comedians, as much as I love a comedian, I don't need every comedian to be to curse like a sailor. Let me tell you, I'm one who used to curse real bad. I'm gonna just tell you, I used to curse.
Well, I don't believe.
But oh my God,
she used to be super ratchet.
Oh, I used to be. Let me tell you. Let's be clear.
She's reformed.
Okay, but God, that's why when you talk, it is nothing but me listening to my own self somewhat, because it's like when you know what God can do and how he can change you. And so I know that he changed this mouth right here. Like I'm just being real. I was good with it though. I was almost like a spoken word artist, because when I was around my grandmother and them, I had a good clean mouth. And when I was around other people, I had the potty mouth, I can truly say that. But I thank God for, that he has, worked on me over the years, and he continues to work on me, because don't get me wrong, don't play with me.
Hey,
I still know how to use them. Okay, just be real clear. It just takes a lot to get. It just takes a lot to get them out today.
Right.
Where before it was real easy. It could even be finger gestures or out that mouth. That's just how bad it was. I'm just saying. But no, but it, is a good thing when God can really, work on us and we avail ourselves. And that's why when you said that, when you availed yourself in doing that fast, I've seen how lives change when we really avail ourselves. And I'm not just speaking about myself, but other people that I'm connected with, when we literally lay before him and allow him to work in us and through us, we can make such a difference in so many lives. And I see that with what you're saying. Because like I said, my mother, she likes all the hip hop stuff, but for her to remember you literally, she was like, he was just speaking such, that night she called me up, and that's what really pushed her, was like, I liked what he was saying. Like, it was like real stuff, like real. I was like, yeah, that's what people, when they living in their truth and walking in their truth, and not ashamed, because we lived a life of hiding for so long. People lived a life of hiding for so long. And so it takes people like you, spoken word artists, to sometimes help visionaries, to help people see that helps free you. It takes the pressure off. Let me say that. When you free yourself by being real and being, being, as they say, being real, but being open, being free, that allows you to be able to be a blessing to other people, because then they can see where if he can do it, I can do it.
That's the
she
goal.
Can do it. If they can make a difference, if they can, their lives can change. My life can change. You don't have to live that same path, because generational curses are what they are, but they can be broken.
True.
So again, it's been fun, y'all. I've truly enjoyed. Thank you, Devon, for hanging in here with us tonight. And I want you, please give all your social media for both of you, as well as where you're performing tonight.
Yeah. Well, you can find me everywhere at KOJO440. Once again, that's KOJO440.
And I'm Devon Danielle, everywhere at Devon Danielle, DAVONNE DNEIL. And tonight we're right here in Baltimore at the Crown. I'll have my band. We're gonna hit at 10 o'clock. So if you're free, come on down.
Where's the Crown?
The Crown, Charles Street.
North Charles Street, right across from Impact Hub.
Yes.
It's
yep.
it's like
Diagonal
adjacent.
across the street.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. And also September 19th, I'm
Is
at
there
the
a fee to
Rams
get
Head.
in?
It says $3 to $5. What does it say on the
3, 5, and 7.
Oh, I don't know
Okay.
what that means.
Okay.
But I've never
Okay.
seen a price
5 to
range
7.
before. But
Okay.
September 19th, I'm at the Rams Head in Annapolis with an inspirational group called Rain.
Okay.
November 15th, I'm at Maryland Live Casino opening for Babyface. So mark your calendars, follow
Awesome.
me.
What?
and,
Go, girl.
Pull on up. Pull up on me.
Yes.
Awesome.
She's working.
Awesome. I like that. I truly thank you all. Thank you, Singleton, for coming and co-hosting with me on
You're welcome.
tonight. I appreciate you all. And Hot Topics Live, we've had some good subjects in here tonight. And then as well as our guests, we just had some fun in here tonight. I hope you will join us on next week. We will have Queen Jackie. She's going to be here. Y'all know that's going to be fun and live. You know, Queen Jackie is real. So you're going to have some fun in here next week. She is our guest here in the studio. So I'm looking forward to her coming and hanging out with us. And if you want to come back next week, Singleton, you're more than welcome to, because Queen Jackie, she's funny.
Have to meet her.
So, oh my gosh, she is, oh my goodness, she is something else. She has her own radio show on the mix station. And so I'm just excited that she was able to fit us in on her schedule to come and hang out with us. But once again, Kojo and Devon, I appreciate you guys coming on here tonight. And, you know, Kojo, just sharing your story. I hope someone has been inspired to, you know, move forward with whether it be in their music career or any career.
Right.
Because your story doesn't just lie behind someone who's an artist, but it also can lie behind someone who may have been incarcerated. To know that you can still push forward and forge ahead. You just gotta want to.
Absolutely.
That's all I tell people. You got to want to.
Right.
So again, we will be back here next week for Hot Topics Live. Just know that I love you, but God loves you better than I ever could. Have a blessed and wonderful rest of your week and holiday weekend. Be safe out here. Please be safe. I love you. Bye.
Yeah.
I want to take pictures with you guys.
I wanted to talk to you.
I want to take pictures with you guys.